All right. I think last time you were here answering questions from us around this time of fight week, it didn't take a genius to figure out you weren't feeling at your best necessarily. You were talking about purging your neighbor, stuff like that. It seemed like you're a little bit jaded. How much better do you feel this time around?
Oh man, I'm a lot better. Thanks. And I'm sorry about that for all you guys. I was on autopilot. That was it. That's all. The only way I can explain it. Everything felt just autopilot.
So to get back here and now sort of get to this part of fight week, right? Weight cut still ahead of you, but to know like, oh, this is how I'm meant to be feeling at this part of fight week. Does that just give you sort of, I don't want to say confidence, but a renewed excitement for Saturday night, knowing that you're going to compete?
1,000%. Just going through the motions and getting a fight week and changing the scenery where I was staying from last time to this time and just kind of comparing both. This one just, it feels way different. Just way different.
When you were watching Diego fight last time, was there a sense of like, shit, that should be me in there? Was there a sense of stuff, or did you just feel so physically bad that you just had to let it go?
It was both. It was both. I was staying in the hotel room, and then we did you put your phone and it connects to the TV, and we kind of were watching the fights that way. And then I was like laying in bed and I saw this fight, and then I was like, damn, that should have been me. But then I also thought, like, well, come on, bro. Like, had that been you that night, you probably wouldn't have won, like the way you were feeling. Yeah. Let's just be honest. But it was a bittersweet moment knowing I was there, almost made the weight, and we went through what we went through, and I didn't really want to pull out. But then you have to make a choice. We made peace with it, and that was it, But yeah, I had those feelings of, we could have got this done with and then moved on to the next.
That said, best case scenario, right? They rebook it, and they don't just rebook it, they rebook it at the Sphere in Las Vegas, a one-of-one event that you get to be a part of history for the UFC. I assume that when you got the call that they wanted to redo this then, that was okay, maybe this was all meant to happen and maybe we get to live this out how we're supposed to.
Yeah, at 1,000%. I already knew that this fight was it. Based on the fact of me not being able to make the fight, him winning versus Ige was like a big question. Was like, well, if he doesn't do this tonight, then there's no future for me as in terms of fighting him. That means it's done. Say he won, and we're like, okay, the future's still there, and then guaranteed that, behind closed doors, they were like, hey, bro, you do all these favors for us, we got your back. And that's when they pushed for me to fight him. But I wasn't reluctant at all. I said, actually, you know what? I have a fire lit underneath me now because of what happened before. I got to do the whole weigh-ins. I had to go face off, and we went through the motions, and we started the story, and we never finished it. Saturday, we finish it finally, and I don't want to leave anyone with any doubt or with anything of how this story ends.
And then after this, is it still lightweight on the mind? I know you had some ideas of some fights up there that you're interested in. Is that still the goal?
1,000%. 1,000%. Because, you got Volk fighting in October. Sorry, Volk. You have Tuporia and Max fighting in October. Then after that, you have whatever day they decide on next year to fight. And then, so it's like a line to fight for the belt. And depending on how this fight goes this weekend is going to determine whether the fans believe that I deserve another shot or not. But either or, my goal is to stay busy. And if there's nothing for me in the featherweight division, then I'll move up.
Right here. I know you said it was hard to watch that fight thinking that you should have been involved, but was any part of you, like when they announced Dan Ige, were you just like, God damn, dude, like 5 hours notice you're stepping up to fight Diego Lopes?
I was happy. I was happy because I was like, bro, I felt bad. It's like, I felt bad. It's like, bro, look at everything we both went through in 2 weeks, and I'm the one that pulls out. I was hard on myself for it, given even the circumstances of being sick. But then to see him that he actually has a fight, I was like, let's go. Like, cool, you still get to make your money, you still get to, you get to earn your stuff. And the only doubt, not the only doubt, but the only question mark was, well, what if he loses tonight? That means this story ends here because, that's it.
To kind of go off of that, maybe some opponents, they would be bitter. They'd be mad that you pulled out like the day before, the day after they had to weigh in. But Diego was very nothing against Brian. He just didn't feel good. He shouldn't have fought, but I hope he rebooked it. Seems very complimentary of you. So I guess when you hear Diego, the guy that this actually affected the most besides you, say all these things, like were you just like, all right, yeah, this is a good guy and we'll just have to go in there and fight?
1,000. Yeah, 100%.
And then, can I get your thoughts on the main event between Sean and Merab?
That's a tough one, man. I just shook Marab's hand right now, and I shook O'Malley's over there. I've known both of them. I've seen both of them. Met them, everything. And so one, given that, I don't even want to speak because I just don't want to bitter any relationship. But if I was to be a fan of it, right, on just a fan side and not knowing anyone, I don't have an answer for that one. Those are one of those few fights that you typically have one or the other. And for myself, that one's a hard one because they both have qualities that can take each other out, and it just depends who can use them better that Saturday night.
Then just was on for me because I just thought of this. I think on your Instagram I saw a video clip you posted about how, like, in the past, you do grappling and then you go to wrestling and just be hard on your body. And I think you used the phrase of, like, you're kind of bridging these different styles to create your own style. So I guess hearing that, can fans expect maybe a different style of fighting from you in there? Or is it just when you get in there, you'll just feel it out and you'll fight against Diego?
Yeah, the new version of myself is someone who's actually taking his job seriously. Before, like I mentioned, when I was younger, I would just win a fight. I would eat Jack in the Box, train in the garage, roll nonstop, run a bunch of stairs, a bunch of miles. As long as I wouldn't gas out in three rounds, I was like, we'd be all right. The weight cut, we just kind of winged it. We had no idea. We started copying people, just seeing like, hey, what are you doing? How does that help? Very clueless. But after the Max loss, that was the first time we decided to take it serious. Then I won Zombie, and then I kind of decided to just to be stupid again. Something that's hard to shake after, my lifestyle. And then after that, after failing recently, hitting rock bottom, that's kind of when I decided to say, you know what, bro, like, stop self-sabotaging yourself because you're afraid of what you can become. I was more happy to be part of the party than, I wasn't supposed to be here. That was always my mentality. We weren't even supposed to be getting these checks. We were probably supposed to be in jail or doing something else. And the fact that we're here is just go for the ride. But now it's different. Now I take everything serious, and now I just eat and breathe this. Even off season, I'm training twice a day, and I'm coaching some of these guys through what I'm learning as well. And we're just moving, man, nonstop.
We've seen past high-level grapplers, like Damian Maia specifically off the top of my head. He said, like, when he got to the UFC, he hit that point where he goes, well, I have to kind of embrace this wrestling a lot more, taking fights down. And when he started to do that, I remember him saying, like, oh, I should have done this years ago. Did you hit that too? Like, once you start to realize, like, how you can take people down easier, you can use your skill set. Do you ever have that moment in camp?
Yeah, 1,000%, bro. This was something that was frustrating. And I'm someone who doesn't like to lose. So when I'm losing in the gym constantly to people that in my head I know I can beat, that didn't make sense. So I would disregard the art because of how I felt. Then realizing that failure in anything that you do, that's the only way to get better. So you just have to embrace that you're going to suck. You have to have fun while you're sucking. And then that's it. You beat me, you took me down, you did this, you did that. Cool, you got me. Like, there's a lot of you got me's and a lot of praise to whoever is your partner. But then after that, there's a page that turns where it's like, I'm not that easy anymore. Oh, hold up, I'm getting better. And then that's when it lights up and it sparks, because you're like, now I'm coming for you. Before I was running, now I'm not running, and now I'm starting to chase. And that's where the game becomes fun. And then I'm like, hold up. And now let me throw in, some other arts, and let me mix things up, and let me take a page out of what Bruce Lee said, where, the best art is no art. You find all these random techniques from everywhere, and you just have fun with them and use them at the proper time.
Brian,
Hey,
to your
Brian,
right.
over here.
Good to see Brian over here.
Got you.
Good to see you again here for this fight week. Dana White actually confirmed via social media not that long ago that you and Khabib was actually a possibility for UFC 223, which ended up being with Iaquinta.
Yeah.
So I know that fight week was crazy, but how would that have played out in your head?
That was, what year? It was in New York. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was in the backyard. Dana White called me. He said, hey, man, I believe it was a short week notice fight. I don't know how short. He said, we need someone to fight Khabib, bro. I was like, all right, let's go. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. I think he was shocked as well. And that's a matchup that, the whole world's going to say I'd get my ass whooped. cool, you know. But as a martial artist, there's always been this whole sambo versus jiu-jitsu or wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. And at that time, before I believed in merging arts, I was like, they're against each other. So let's see if I can be a good representative of being a good, you know, subject of being at the bottom of the fight who can submit someone or make it dangerous for someone who's a well-known grappler who just is known for holding you down and you can't do anything about it. That's what intrigued me about it. And yeah, it was a hard week. I flew to New York, went over there, and I was on standby like the whole time. And then I believe Max stepped in, and then Max stepped out. And then they called me to step back in, and I was like, bro, I just ate a Junior's cheesecake. Like, there's no way I'm making weight. Like, I figured once Max was in that it was over. I was like, all right, cool, bro. Like, lost your chance, oh well.
And when you like see how far Khabib went with his career, is that something where you kind of wish you did get a crack at him at some point or another? I mean, being so close to potentially fought him, and obviously the Sambo Jiu-Jitsu battle you mentioned just now.
No, I made peace with the fact that it's never going to happen. It never will happen. And if anything, I just admire what he did and respect everything he's done for the sport.
And just another one from a different perspective from Brian Ortega, the coaching side of Brian Ortega. We're 3 years removed from your Ultimate Fighter season, and half of the cast that was with you on that show is now on the UFC. So I guess, how does it feel to see all that come out from your season, and how did that experience change you as a fighter in person?
Not much, man. For me, it was an experience in my life. That was it. It was. I got to see what it was like. You know, as a fighter, you always come and watch these shows, and you see them on TV. You see all that, and then when I got the call for it, I actually kind of didn't want it, because I was just, maybe I don't fit the part. Myself and Volk, we don't really have true rivalry where we hate each other and we're trying to fight each other the second we see each other. So I have no idea how we're gonna put some drama for you guys. He seems like a laid-back guy. I'm a laid-back guy. Unless you really come poking at me, I won't really get at you. So I just didn't know, for the UFC's sake. I said, guys, I don't know if I can sell this the right way. They said, bro, you were going to fight. He got COVID. You guys are both in Vegas. Shoot the show. I was like, all right, done. That was it. But to see these guys in there now, obviously you get to meet them, you get to hang out with them, play pool. They're stuck in the house all day, so all you do is just, you know, board games, pool, you know, just the pool. I brought my dad over there. We had a barbecue for them. You get to meet them on a personal level. A lot of them actually flew in and stayed at my house with me now. You know, Andre Petrosky is one of them. He just won, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. And he's killing it, man. Yeah, I'm seeing all this. Tresean Gore. I see, you know, Brian Battle is in there killing it. All these guys are doing good. And it's, you know, it just puts a smile on my face to see them succeed in their goals.
Hey, Brian, over here. Who would be your dream artist to perform a concert at the Sphere?
What? I can't even see you.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, there we go. Got you.
Right here. Who would be your dream artist to perform a concert at the Sphere?
Morgan Wallen.
Nice.
Dude, I would love to see Morgan Wallen at the Sphere.
That walkout would go crazy, huh?
If you ever do perform there, bro, please give me a ticket.
All right, I got you.
Not you, Morgan Wallen. But if you do get me one, I'll go with you.
I work for at Vegas, so I got you.
Dog, get at me.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Over here. I was just wondering if you had a chance to check out the Craig Jones Invitational, and I guess what was your thoughts on them kind of going head-to-head with ADCC?
I you know what? I don't know too much about like what's going on in the jiu-jitsu world like that. I kind of keep to myself a lot. A lot of people think it's weird, but that's just kind of what I do. I think it's amazing that he has backing and he can actually get jiu-jitsu practitioners paid. That's something that it was not ever a thought to just do jiu-jitsu and make that a career. Only way you were going to be good at jiu-jitsu is winning competitions and running your own school. But even running your own school would be dependent on the fact that you can make more views. And who knows if that's possible, right? Some people are great athletes, but not the best coaches. You got people that can just do things that no one's ever seen. But to be able to teach that and make another you, that's the hard part. And to see them now just 1,000% just focus on themselves, their food, their diet, their health, training nonstop, and that be a lifestyle and a job that you can have and make literally $1 million. That's crazy.
With all that being said, can we see you grappling some of these top grapplers?
If it's for $1 million, yeah. Because, you know, I can't risk getting my ankle broken or something and then having to mess up my job here. That's the only problem. I have no interest unless, you know, there's a good carrot to get excited about, to chase.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, right over here.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm wondering, since your last media day in June, did you ever hear back from the neighbors or anyone get word to you about how close they were to losing it?
Check this out. That was when I lived in the apartment. Well, I lived in the apartment because I decided to fight Volk. I signed a deal, and I didn't even have a home. At that time, I separated from my wife. We got back together. By the time I separated from her, and then she kept the place, and I was just staying with my homie. But then he lives with his girl, and I don't want to be that guy. Like, you just see walking around your house while you're trying to live your life. But I signed the deal, and I was like, dude, I need to stay here for at least 2 months. Talked to another friend. They said, hey, there's a place that does month to month, and these 2 bedrooms, and you can be by yourself. I said, say less, later, bye, I'm gone. The second the fight was done with Volk, I left. I bought a house, and that was it. But I have no idea where they're at, what they're doing. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what they look like. I just know they made a lot of noise. And my neighbor now, she's amazing.
That is great to hear.
Yeah.
A little bit of business. There's a lot of, speculation. What's the sphere going to look like while you guys are fighting? Is there any worry at all that it could be a little distracting? Obviously, there's already a lot to worry about when you're inside the cage.
Once you're getting punched in the face, I don't think I'm going to look at any lights or any people. As simple as that. You know, the second the lights that go on really do a good job at kind of blinding the surroundings, which allow you to focus. But I haven't fought there, and I'm putting it in my head that I have to be aware of the environment so it doesn't mess with me during the fight, and that's something I've already kind of calculated in there. But now I'm going to do the best to just admire what it's going to be like to look in one direction and see 16,000 people in just one direction. That's crazy. We're used to 18,000 people in T-Mobile, and it's a full circle. We have 2,000 less just in one direction. And there's like mountains of them. So that's gonna be exciting.
Final question, very important one. You're obviously well known for your hair. Diego's very well known for his hair. Who's got the better hair out of the two, you guys?
I'm biased, man. I'm gonna go with myself.
What is your response to him when he said he thinks he has the better haircut?
Nah.
Thank you.
Come on. We're good. Thank you, guys.